I think it's really funny now that I think about it, and have obviously gone through the suffering of not doing it, to then realize, to come to the realization and finally, find it funny. Whereas I wouldn't have found it funny before when I was suffering, but to be in my right mind and to be able to find it funny is a blessing. But to not do the thing that we are meant to do, sort of, it takes so much away from us. It takes away our health, our power, our sanity, our life force energy. And it's so, so important. Like, if you know what you are supposed to do, right? The thing that literally takes away your mind completely. And I've experienced this as well, like in my podcast. Like, I just recorded an episode today and I thought, oh my gosh, like, it's like I'm not even there, when I speak. And I think using my voice is definitely a very big part of my life force's energies, purpose. Like, the way that that life is working through me really is, a lot of it is in just my speaking. I think how beautiful that is, because when I don't speak, like, I have days where I don't make these videos, or I don't connect with people, or I don't have conversations, and I'm just in my head, like, how different that reality is. And literally, when you go without the thing that really makes you feel like that, and you sort of forget, like, that forgetting is a cost that you'll remember, hopefully, and that you won't let yourself forget again. And this is why, like, the things that we are meant to do, like, it's not like, it's true. The only reason it is true service is because we do it for ourselves. And really, when you do something for yourself, then really, that is when the universe gets to, have the greatest benefit. Like, when it is in true service of yourself. That's like a miracle in itself. And today I just, posted a few of these videos on, like, on my different social media platforms, and I thought, geez, like, I get so lost when I'm creating, like, I'm writing the caption, and I just get, like, so, like, today I wrote 2 different captions for the same video on 2 different platforms, and 2 different long captions, which I realized I just love to write. I love to create. It's just what I was born to do. So, here I am, and I truly only know that it's a thing that makes me feel like I'm not here. And what a gift that is, right? To, like, the contrast. And this is what's so remarkable. It's like, the more aware you become, the more you're constantly feeling and perceiving and sensing your reality, which can be very cumbersome, burdensome. Like, it just, and so, like, oh my God, I have to really focus all of my energy on what I want to do and what makes me feel good, because life doesn't really, like, let you sit. It's not even like you could tolerate, like, not doing that, right? It's like, because your field of awareness, your perception is so heightened, right? You can't really stand, like, the negative, the neurons firing off of, like, everything that you perceive negative. You can't really stand that for, like, more than a minute. Like, that time just gets shorter and shorter and shorter, right? Like, even a thought like that is, like, not something that I can bear now. So here we are, and I don't really know what that is. I read about, like, kind of like, what neurodivergence is, like, in spiritual terms, or like in a spiritual meaning, how it is, like, it's hyperperception, right? I think we can all agree on that. And how it's like a sort of like a deeper level of consciousness. And maybe that's what all neurodivergence is. Like, you're feeling and sensing things, like processing things that maybe the other people around you aren't. And maybe that's the truth of all of us, I don't know. And just like in modern society, like, or like the way that we've become civilized or whatever it is, or domesticated, or however we behave and live today, has really like taken away so much of that ability to feel and sense. Because I know, like, as kids, like, that's a lot of how we are, and I don't think children are, like, naturally, like, so get overstimulated by like light and sound. I think sometimes they do. I think they do, more so than adults, like the average adult does, maybe. But they do get like overstimulated in the sense of like too much people and crowds, and like just sometimes that could be overstimulating for them. And so I think that's just like a human thing, but it's interesting, what really is like neurodivergent, and is really everybody, because I know everybody had said that everybody's born on the spectrum, but I mean, we would have to think that it's like a group of people, because they're classified as having an atypical brain, where like a non-typical brain, where there would have to be a typical brain, which is then the average person. So I don't know, or are people who are neurodivergent, are they just people who have had difficult experiences in their life, or maybe they are people who just came into this life with a certain kind of temperament or a certain ability, like to feel or sense. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know. Like, is everybody neurodivergent in a way, and then just many of us, like, cover up that like ability to perceive and feel and sense. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I do know that it is painful to be this aware. That I do know. It's not easy. But the one thing that really helps me is creating. Like, I think when you do the thing that you're meant to do, it just the contrast in that, like the pain of like not doing it, compared to like the hyper focus that you experience when you do it, the feeling like you're not even there, like it just means that you have to do the thing that you love, like that's it. And I don't know, it seems like life is like really like destined for us to live our purpose in that way. And I don't know, I haven't even slept yesterday night, because sleep hasn't been the easiest thing, but I also have been like all over with my schedule and not eating properly, and I haven't been moving my body, and I'm really just trying to regulate my nervous system, which I don't know, I'm feeling like I should go to the gym or move my body. It's just been a struggle since I had COVID like a year ago, and my nervous system hasn't really felt safe in the gym, and it just starts feeling unwell, which is no fun. I miss working out, but I recently have like started like watching exercise videos, which I never did before. I just kind of was trained by my partner, but like this is so beautiful to have like my own connection to it now. And I just in this moment, I just looked out the window and I saw a bird flying over, and I remembered how much I really love speaking. So if that's something that you guys like also resonate with, like please leave a comment and let me know. It's crazy, like this is what I mean by the contrast. Sometimes it takes like a minute to get into it, but then once you do, like you're doing the thing that you love and the thing that you're meant to do. And it's really crazy also if you've experienced like contrast, in the sense that the thing that you love to do now is a thing that you were really, really suppressed in before. Like for me as a child, like I was, never talked, like I wasn't seen as a child, like I had a, traumatic relationship with my mother. I wasn't seen, I wasn't acknowledged. So of course, like, my ability to speak and express myself like was non-existent. So it only really started after I graduated college at like 22 years old. So this is like 15 years in the making, and this is evidence. It really is proof that our struggle becomes our story, right? And ultimately our victory. And I just made a reel about that on Instagram today, and just to remind ourselves how far we've come, because that's something that I didn't I hadn't done before up until today. Like I would always hear about gratitude and all that, but like today I was really like thinking about it, And I guess the way that I think about it is actually by expressing, you know. That's a very strange thing. And now that I actually do, like, in order to consciously think about something, I have to actually talk about it, which is, I don't know. I just realized that in just saying this right now, because I actually don't think about anything. You know, if I do, it's like my brain that's just doing the thoughts and, you know, ruminating or like playing, you know. But to actually think about something is to actual, like, to consciously bring it to life and give it energy and give it meaning, right? Assigned by me. Like, it's a really beautiful and powerful thing. And that's what I've been doing in my writing ever since I was 22, 23, right? So the same time I started writing, that's actually when I graduated college. I started living with my childhood sweetheart, and he was very, very, like, the most articulate human being that I'd ever met. So I remember I was actually sitting in his living room, and we would have like intellectual, like, riveting conversations all the time. And I remember for the first time in one of those conversations, like, pretty, like, you know, pretty soon after we started talking, maybe like a few months after, like, I just remember like having the realization, oh my god, this is the first time that I'm actually stringing sentences together to like form a conversation. This has never happened before. And I just remember like having that thought, and I was like, wow, like, this is really amazing. I don't remember ever being present and ever like really having conversations and talking like this. And some of you watching this video may feel like that as well. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is like, you know, maybe it's like the first time for you, or maybe you still aren't there. I don't know. Like, that's quite possible too. But like, you know, speaking is like, gosh, it's the way, it's the most popular thing that we do, like, as human beings. It's the thing that we do with each other the most. It's the thing that, like, you know, out of everything that we do with each other, we talk to each other the most. Like, think about the people that you live with, right? Like, you know, out of everything that you do together, eat together, you watch dinner, watch, you know, TV, you know, cook, you know, go here, go on vacation and stuff like that. The thing that you're always doing is communicating. So it's like, you know, and to think that most of us, right, like, are on this journey somewhat of being able to express ourselves more fully, because, you know, most people that you meet actually have like a fear of, like, you know, being themselves or expressing themselves or communicating what they really think, you know, saying, you know, how they really feel. And so a lot of the blockages, I think, come in the form of like not wanting to hurt people, or sometimes, but, you know, I think that's mostly the thing. Like, somehow, like, they learn that it was wrong, because usually when you don't have that blockage, the words come pretty, you know, naturally. But sometimes people will also have like the fear that, like, they'll say, like, you know, I don't know how to say this, or I don't know how to articulate myself, or I don't know, you know, and those are rare cases too. But it's like, but it's also very much the same part of the mind that is like generating from fear, because it's the fear in the first place that's causing them to, like, sort of, like, you know, harp on that one thing, or ask, like, you know, ruminate about like that one question. And really what it is it's just a trap by the mind, because again, when we are in our natural state, when we're calm, when we're present, when we're regulated, then, like, we don't really think about, you know, how, you know, if we're articulating something properly, it just arises, like, everything just comes up, like, very naturally. So it's a very interesting thing. But I want to know how many of you have also been on this journey of speaking and communicating, and how, like, maybe in your life there was, you know, even in your childhood, you were pretty, like, mute almost, or like you just didn't talk too much. You were really quiet, really reserved, or very, like, fussy as a kid, or very, like, aloof, you know, like standing in the corner like I was. I used to stand in the corner for like hours at a time when my mom used to drop me off at my grandma's house. So I just never felt safe around people. I just remember, like, exactly where she would drop me off, I would just stand there by the door, like, facing the wall and crying. And I imagine, like, when I think about that little girl, I think about, like, how much, how difficult it, like, just the difficulty, like, the memory constantly being imprinted in the brain of, like, that, you know, like, of the reality of that. I just never want anybody to suffer that way, you know. So that's my story, and I want to know if you have something similar. Please leave a comment if you do, and or if you don't, but you still relate to, like, speaking in some way, like, in wanting to get better. Like, tell me about your journey, or what you envision, like, how you want to get better. And I love you, and I'm really grateful to meet you. God bless you. Bye.